Chew. Ever feel like you're stuck waiting for the perfect moment to start something? You know, that one big project, that business idea, that class you've always wanted to teach. You tell yourself, I'll launch it when the website is perfect, or I'll start when the branding is just right. If that sounds familiar, then you need to hear the story of Nadia. Nadia was a brilliant designer with a passion for sketching. She dreamed of teaching a weekend sketching class, a space where people could learn to see the world differently, one pencil stroke at a time. So, she started planning. She drafted dozens of names, experimented with countless logos, and agonized over the perfect color palette. She'd spend hours comparing shades of blue, convinced that the perfect brand identity was the key to a successful launch. I'll launch when the brand feels right, she'd tell herself and her friends. But feeling right was a moving target. The launch date she set for herself got pushed back by a week, then 2, then a month. She was trapped in a cycle of endless preparation, polishing details that no one would even see yet. The perfect was becoming the enemy of the good, and more importantly, the enemy of the done. One afternoon, over coffee, her friend Luce asked a simple question. Hey, show me your sign-up page. Nadia felt a wave of anxiety. Oh, it's not ready yet, she said, almost automatically. Louise leaned in. Okay, but is the class ready? Do you know what you want to teach? Yes, of course, Nadia replied. The curriculum is all planned out, Louise smiled. Then let people raise their hands. Let them tell you they're interested. While Nadia was lost in thought, still tweaking those shades of blue in her mind, Louise pulled out his laptop. He wasn't a designer, prods. But he understood one crucial thing: momentum. He opened a simple page builder and typed a clear, direct headline. Learn to see on Saturdays. No fancy name, no complex branding. Just the core value proposition. He added 3 of Nadia's beautiful sketches as photos, wrote one single paragraph explaining what the class was about, and dropped in a simple sign-up form. Then, without a second thought, he hit publish. A moment later, Nadia's phone buzzed. She glanced at it. An email notification. One sign-up. Before she could even process it, it buzzed again. Another sign-up. A stranger, someone she didn't know, wanted to take her class. That's when it hit her. People weren't waiting for a perfect logo. They were waiting for the class itself, too. That evening, feeling a strange mix of fear and exhilarating relief, Nadia took a leap of faith. She posted that simple one-page link to her own social media. The response was immediate. The fear of imperfection was still there, but it was now overshadowed by the excitement of real, tangible progress. She set a tiny, manageable rule for herself: just 10 minutes each morning. That's it. On Monday, she spent 10 minutes writing a small FAQ section. On Tuesday, she refined the class schedule. On Wednesday, she drafted a warm welcome note for her future students. Each day, she improved one small piece of the puzzle. The project no longer felt like a giant, intimidating mountain to climb, but a series of small, achievable steps. When Saturday arrived, 8 people walked into the studio. They came with fresh notebooks, sharp pencils, and open, eager faces. They weren't there to critique her color palette or judge her logo, which, by the way, still wasn't perfect. They were there to learn. The class began. The sound of pencils scratching on paper filled the room. And in that moment, Nadia knew that imperfect beginning was the most perfect thing she could have done. It made everything else that followed finishing the website, refining the brand, infinitely easier.
Ooh.
The moral of Nadia's story is simple but powerful. Action creates clarity. We often think we need clarity before we can act, but it's almost always the other way around. Yet, you don't need the entire staircase to be perfectly built. You just need to take the first step. Start small. Then refine as you go. Because momentum isn't just a part of the process, it's the secret ingredient. The missing color you've been looking for. So what's that one thing you've been putting off? Maybe it's time to build your own one-page start. Thank you so much for watching. This story resonated with you. I'd be so grateful if you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories to help you get started and keep going. See you in the next one.